Hello everyone and welcome to the first race of our HRL Reach Throwback Grand Finals. After a long fall series, we are finally here at the end. We did 21 races in the regular season, 21 motos that is, 7 apiece for ovals, GPs, and Supercross slash motocross races. So we did 7 apiece, we did 21 races total, mostly double headers, 1 triple header at the end. And that is what we did for a regular season. And now we are here at the end for the grand final where we're going to do 6, which is quite a lot. I mean, that's almost a third of the regular season. And one night, going back to our roots with a fat grand finals here, we already saw, or at least by the time this will be uploaded, we'll have already seen the Firestone Firehawk grand finals races and how those went. And now we're going to take a look at the Reach ones, where we have quite the field here. 12 drivers, so double what we had in the Firestone Firehawk Grand Finals, which could be a good thing and could also be a bad thing. I'm telling you, there are pros and cons. Sort of Bob, there are pros and cons to having bigger fields. So, but regardless, we have 12 for this one. We'll go through it. And to go through this real quick, it's going to be 25 laps on this track. The track is Watkins Glen. The short track, doesn't have the whole like bootleg, all that extra jazz, so like short layout of this classic iconic track. 25 laps, it'll be 51 on the checkpoints, and let's go through our grand final contenders. And for this first race, we're going to be doing a similar format, like basically the same to what we did in the Firestone Firehawk, where it is going to be seeded for the first moto. So the first moto will be seeded based off your points results in the regular season. And then the rest of the races will be invert. And to be fair, the Supercross races, like some of the races are going to have like gates as well. So those will just be like the RNG gate start. But when it's not RNG, it'll be the classic invert. So similar to what we did Firestone Firehawk. All right, let's get it going. So going to be first and second, left to right is going to be Luke and Detail, Nuked, Roman, Soul, Solange, Turkey, Opix, Hunter, Camby, Sully, and Real Deal. Yes, Real Deal not making a reach race, but paying his way into the grand finals. Money can buy you many things. All right, so 25 laps here at Watkins Glen, inching to the line. There we go. Pace start for this GP, which I low-key wish we did for more GP. I actually kind of like the pace starts for GP races, but we go green. Oh, and Soul, Hunter, Turkey, and Opix are the ones that bite the dust. That first section is very, very difficult to take too wide, and it is always treacherous on these GP races, on these starts, on this Watkins Glen track. There has been many instances across races on this track in different leagues from years past where that has happened. Actually, again, like in Adrenaline where we had like cautions, this track was actually a caution fest a lot of the time. Oh, actually, you know what? Old HRL, we used to do cautions too. I think I did an HRL history on this track going into the regular season. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. And that was like kind of a caution fest too. So yeah, that's a little known fact about this track, perhaps for a lot of you, is that this one was like a caution fest back in the day. Like, that's not something you'd be used to saying with like a GP track, but yeah, that's how this one used to go. There'd be cautions aplenty, and there would be a lot of weird scenarios, especially when we did the races with pits. There'd be a lot of weird scenarios on this track because of the amount of cautions. Like whenever there's a lot of cautions, it messes with the pit strategy and stuff like that. So it'd get weird. Basically, what I'm getting at is this track today is going to race a lot different than it would back in the day because of those different rules and, you know, different time and stuff like that. But so leading him down for the first couple laps is going to be Luke. Detail will be in second, Nuked third, Roman running in fourth. I believe that is Pop's Launch in fifth. Sully's worked his way up to sixth early on. Real Deal seventh, can be eighth, and then we got, I believe it's Opix, Turkey, Hunter, and Soul, I believe, running out the back again. All 4 of those guys getting involved in that lap 1 incident definitely is not helping their run here in this first race. That being said, you know, this first race is the seeded race. And again, it's also the first race of the night. There's still plenty of time. There's 5 motos to make it back up. So yeah, it's an unfortunate start, but this is definitely the time of the night where you'd rather have the bad conk. That's for sure. Rather than obviously late in the night or even in the middle. When you're starting to get in your groove, stuff like that, some finish like that could really kill your momentum. Oh, and a bad conk on the rock. That's going to cost Detail. He does pull out in front of Slaunch just in time to hold on to that 4th place spot. That could have really costed him right there, but it ended up being not too bad. He's still in 4th place. He's still not too far behind Roman. It was good that he got recovered in the time that he did, because he definitely, Slaunch and Sully are not that far behind. He could have lost even more spots. That would have been really tough, but well, on the bright side for Detail, early on in the race, and, you know, still in a position where he could fight for a podium, so that definitely could have been worse. That being said, I mean, he's running in 2nd place, not what he's hoping for, but it could have been worse. Roman with a bad run on the exit of the chicane. Real deal cheesing back there, but he's going to stay in front of Camby. It's Hunter, actually. Hunter in front of Turkey. Then it's Opix and Soul. Real deal trying to stay in front of Camby. I want to take a look at this pack, though. We have a really nice pack here for front positions. Going to go on board with Sully here. Plenty of laps to go. Plenty of laps to go.
Checkpoint reached.
We're going to see some different lines throughout the chicane. The interesting thing about the chicane is that there's definitely a few different ways you could take it, a few different options. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think about that for a section like that, but there's definitely some different ways to take the inner loop, and there's definitely an argument to certain ways too, because like, it kind of depends on whether you're trying to be aggressive or not. Like, you can run it more aggressively to try to gain time when you're behind people, but when you're in front and you're, like, defending, you can take it a little more defensive. You can break a little bit. You know, go for that strategy. Try to not let them make the pass. So, definitely depending on, like, the situation you're in, there's different ways you can take it and different arguments to them. Obviously, you know, taking it as flat out as you possibly can and not breaking or doing, like, a little mini lift just to get the angle, that's obviously going to be the fastest way if you hit it properly. But it might not always be the smart way. It depends on the situation, so definitely some different ways of playing it. Looks like Detail's getting pretty close to Roman. We're going to try to work that spot. Nuked and Luke pretty close for the front 2 spots as well. Slaunch and Sully not too far off these guys either. I mean, this is a really nice pack right here in the top 4. And Luke and Nuked have kind of broken away in the top 2. They've gotten away. As long as they don't cheese each other too hard, it looks like that'll probably be the battle for the win between them. But the battle for the podium, realistically, at this point, is between any of these 4 guys here. I mean, this is very close, and with some cheesy battle action, could get quite interesting. And now it's kind of separating into, like, multiple 2-wide packs at this point, because Detail's getting closer to Roman, and Sully's getting closer to Slaunch, and that's kind of how they're ending up. Oh, look at this pack, too. There's a good pack back here. There's actually some pretty good pack racing. We got, like, 3 different sets of battles going on here. Real Deal's leading this one, ahead of Camby and Hunter.
Complete.
And Turkey and Opix not too far off, and if he sticks with it, I mean, these guys are probably going to start battling, so it's going to be a lot harder for Soul. Unfortunately, his race is just probably over at this point. It's just a tough position that he's in from the start. I mean, just not ideal. I'll pull up the Bernie Sanders meme. I am yet again asking for cautions in GP races. I'm telling you, it's the wave. It's the wave. Gotta change some minds here. That being said, I mean, now it's really separated. Like, it's literally 3 2-wide packs. And look at this. Detail's got the run on Roman. But it's going to be tough to make this move. Let's see what he does. Can he pull it off?
Checkpoint reached.
Oh, he's just trying so hard to get that run, but he just can't quite get there. Detail definitely finding the pace, but can't make the pass. And it's difficult. It's tricky. I mean, you have to time your pass. Well, part of it, you have to hope on for a mistake. Oh, speaking of mistake, some heavy rock conk, and that actually gets Turkey, puts him in last. That actually gets Soul a position. So Soul, I was just saying he's out of it. He's gained some massive cheese must have happened back here because Hunter's fallen back too. Soul's not too far behind him. And look at this. Opix has made up those positions. So he's a benefactor here. He's made up a couple spots, and he's not too far behind Real Deal and Camby. They're still in conk range if they mess each other up. So that's what I was saying before for Opix in this situation. Just got to stick with it. And obviously it's not going to be a great result, but he can definitely salvage some positions here if he just runs some decent laps and sticks with it. Very close battle for the lead. Detail and Roman not as close as they were last lap.
Checkpoint reached.
Slaunch and Sully not as close as they were previously either. But Nuke kind of went for it that last lap and lost a little bit of time, so the gap opens again. So let's take a look at different battle on track now. Let's see if we can watch one. We're looking at Camby here. Camby again showing up for some of these late races in both series, actually. Unfortunately not showing up for the grand finals in Firestone Firehawk, but he did show up for some of those. He showed up for the last night, which was nice.
Lap complete.
Nice to see Camby back in the races, and you know, definitely taking some of his oval specialty into that Firestone Firehawk night. He took the first hog oval moto that we've ever ran. So that's a pretty cool. I mean, Camby's in the history books now for that. That's a pretty cool stat. And look at this. Opix is right behind them now, so he must have figured something out. He's actually making up some pretty aggressive time on Real Deal and Camby. Soul's making up some time on Hunter as well. The lead battle's still alive. Detail's not that far behind Roman. Roman going rogue that lap. Oh! That's a conquer. That's a conquer there from Roman. Detail definitely had the run, had the line, and Roman got him into the rock. Questionable plays out of Roman there. Unfortunate, probably frustrating for Detail because that was the opening for his move right there, but Roman was not having it. Unfortunate for sure, because that wasn't really like a forced bog. That was just a total like come back across the track and conk him in the rock. Oh, Slaunch cheeses it. No, Slaunch cheeses it. It's gonna lose that spot to Sully. Finally, he'll go into the top 5. Slaunch will dip out of the top 5. And with those conks on the last lap, these guys all separate a bit. They're all a little bit further away than they were. The lead's not quite there yet, but it's still pretty close. Soul's still pretty close with Hunter, and Opix has gotten by Camby here. It's not a big comeback drive. He's made up multiple positions already. He's gotten by Camby now. Must have just missed it there. Not sure if it was a good move from Opix, a mistake from Camby, or possibly on this track a combination of both. But either way, gets the position, and he's now going to try to track down Real Deal. So Opix maybe figuring some things out here late in the race because, I mean, he got some nice timing with some other people cheesing and making up some spots there, but I mean, Real Deal and Camby are not two slouches when it comes to these races, and he's actually just making up time on them, so he's definitely got something dialed in now.
Checkpoint reached. Lap
Turkey just not in this one anymore. Detail closing the gap on Roman again, and the lead battle getting close again as well. As this time down, we're getting pretty close to the end of this race. 6 laps to go. Very close to the end here. Not much time remaining. This would be like the 2-minute warning and a foot. Well, pretty close actually. 4 laps to go on this track with the lap times. Probably like the 2-minute warning, but pretty close. Pretty close.
checkpoint reached. Lap complete.
And we'll see if anybody makes any mistakes here at the end, or if anybody can make any slick moves stick. But not too bad of a race so far. We've actually had lots of different... Whoa, look at this. Real Deal Opix and Camby is now really starting to heat up. Oh, Camby. Not letting off, but you see sometimes it's not beneficial. Like when he took it that time, he had to swerve so hard to dodge the last rock on the inside that he ended up like losing all that time that he gained. So that's the tricky part about it. Like if you're gonna take it all out, you got to make sure you have your angles figured out so that you don't have to do that. Because if you do, you're just gonna lose all that time that you made up not getting on the brakes. So again, it's a pretty interesting... I like the way this section is made. It's a pretty... Oh, no! Camby! Will stay in front of Hunter and Soul. They're still, like, bumper to bumper, by the way. Real Deal starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Starting to get away from Opix a little bit. But Opix is still not that far behind. Luke and Nuke, Detail, and Roman. These are still two very close battles for front positions and potentially drivers that are going to be in the battle for this Grand Finals championship. The last one on the year. The last races on the year. I mean, this is it. This is it. And this could be the move. Newt has a good run in the first sector, but this is the tricky part. You got to make it stick into the chicane, and this is where it can get pretty difficult. And he tries to make it work, but it's just not going to work around the outside. It's a really tough place to set up the pass. A really difficult spot to set up the pass there. As we go into, we're on 2 to go, 2 to go. Detail's still very close behind Roman, trying to make up that time there. So he's got a little bit of breathing room. Slaunch is kind of on his own now, and oh, Opix! Oh no! Is that gonna throw it away? He does make contact. Whoa! This just got crazy in the back.
Checkpoint reached.
Wow, their race is spicy. Unfortunate late race rock conk from Opix right there, because that might lose him those positions. That is tough, and he was making up the time too. He was going for it on Real Deal there. He was sending it, so gotta respect it. As we're on the white flag, one more lap down. If Luke can get through the chicane cleanly, should probably be good. I'm trying to watch that back battle as well. Ah, Nuke went for it, and this could be a problem. He takes too long to get back on the goose. It was too big of a conk. He loses 3 positions. And that was a pretty big Hail Mary, too. He was pretty far behind. Luke's going to take the win. Roman will now hold on to second. Detail third. Sully fourth. Nuke fifth. Slaunch sixth. I'm going to get out of it here because I want to see what's going on with these guys. Oh my god, they're still so close. So it's looking like Real Deal will come across the line in 7th. Hunter. Oh, look at the drift. You like that? 8th. Opix 9th. Camby 10th. Soul 11th. And Turkey. Turkey 12th. God, I love Elite controllers. $180 pieces of shit. Good race. It's going to be Luke, Roman, and Detail on the podium again, rounding this one out for the first race in the Grand Finals. And now we're going to go on to AMA Phoenix, one of the most difficult Supercross tracks in our schedule in general, and possibly the hardest track in this Grand Finals. We'll see you guys there.